Apple uses the Apple brand to successfully compete across several highly saturated markets. Apple began solely as a computer company in 1970, and since then, Apple has rapidly evolved and diversified its product offering. Apple can now be considered one of the largest technology firms in the world. Their core product offering is the iPhone, the iMac, the iPad. However, Apple also has an extensive line of products including earphones, Apple Pay, and a streaming service. Apple's value proposition is based around two factors: functional value and emotional value. Firstly, Apple provides functional benefits to its customers through its vast range of products, which all serve a different purpose, thus providing the customer with cutting-edge technology to satisfy any need. More importantly, Apple provides customers with a positive feeling when they purchase or use an Apple product, as they add richness and depth to the experience through their customer service. Apple also delivers exceptional customer experience through superb interfaces. Thus, Apple's ergonomic and beautifully designed products deliver both functional and emotional value. Apple's iPhone ushered in the era of the smartphone, the world of mobile first and constant connection, leading the way for mobile technology to dominate and reform day-to-day existence. Apple was a pioneer in the early 2000s as it took a different approach to business that hadn't been seen before. Apple became a customer-driven company who focused solely on design and branding. Apple were able to achieve this customer-focused business model by outsourcing all its technological developments and manufacturing to Foxconn. This allowed Apple to focus on their core competency, which is their brand identity and customer experience. Apple's outsourcing to Foxconn also allowed them to keep its production costs down. Due to this, Apple has been able to achieve 60 to 70% profit margins on sales of iPhones. Apple's relationship with Foxconn is critical to Apple's continued success, as it allows the company to maintain its customer-driven goals and focus on their brand identity. Due to Apple's vast product offering, they have many different demographic customer segments and positioning methods for each individual product. However, Apple's behavioral segmentation remains the same across all their products. Apple products such as the iPhone, iPad, Mac, iPod are all targeted at genders from 18 to 45, who are typically higher income earners, or Apple services such as iTunes, the Apple Mac Store, the iCloud, and Apple Pay are targeted at a younger audience. Although Apple's demographic segmentation may be different, their behavioral segmentation remains the same across all their products. They aim to target determined and ambitious individuals who are highly brand loyal. They also position their brand to create a high sense of belonging for their customers.
Through this analysis, we can see a highly competitive, lucrative, and attractive market. This was seen due to the strong competitive rivalry, the low threat of substitute, and the low threat of new entrants. The analysis identified the strong competitive rivalry within the market, with multiple well-established players such as Google, Samsung, and more locally in China are the homegrown rivals such as Huawei Technologies. The bargaining power of suppliers was also identified as relatively strong within the market. China has been critical to Apple's soaring market value, providing stable, efficient, low-cost manufacturing bases with an abundant network of suppliers. The government of China has also helped funnel workers to Foxconn, posting notices online. Apple relies on more than 3 million indirect workers in China. This number exceeds Vietnam's total working population. India is the closest comparison, but unfortunately its roads, ports, and infrastructure lag. All of these components give Foxconn great power within the market. Bargaining power of suppliers is also strong, and this is due to their low switching costs between competitor products. If Apple was to potentially move out of China as well, this would jeopardize its sales within China, which counts for nearly a fifth of its total revenue. As mentioned previously, the threat of new entrants is relatively low, and this is due to the high cost of establishing a company and additional costs of establishing a brand within the market. Threat of substitutes was also relatively low.
Apple differentiates their brand in the market by having exclusively unique ecosystem, which means Apple is able to create their own design, hardware, software, application, and services, allowing the company to introduce innovative solutions to the customer. The ecosystem of Apple consists of hardware products such as iPhone, software, which is the operating system that go with Apple items, applications, for example, like iMovie or Safari, and services, for example, like App Store or Apple Music. This creates a strong competitive advantage for Apple, especially when the bigger competitors like Samsung or Google are either lacking a comprehensive operating system or standout hardware modules. Brand value is closely related to recognition, and Apple is now one of the most well-known and valuable brands in the world. For the last decade, Apple has a huge reputation for having highly innovative design, delivering qualified customer experience, and sound financial performance. Those achievements are contributed by strong advertising and marketing capability. Examples of Apple's successful marketing campaigns are the 1984 and the Think Different, helping the company to build a brand image. In recent years, Apple is focusing on building in-house marketing teams to lower costs and strengthening advertising capabilities. Apple has a very high loyal customer base. Customers praise the company's items for the innovation, design, ease to use, reliability, and the status they convey. According to Bank Myself 2019, Apple retention rates in the smartphone market are the highest among its major rivals, such as Samsung, Google, LG, or HTC, about 75%. Apple also enjoys the most loyal customer base in the tablet market and have been holding this position for the last 5 years. Being a Apple supplier, Foxconn are ahead in the competition of diversifying the supply network in order to avoid getting caught up in the US-China dispute. Moreover, Foxconn is also considered as a pioneer of a van manufacturing internet ecosystem and the leading technological solution provider with a strong history achievement.
Apple faces numerous existing and emerging threats, specifically with the global pandemic affecting them now more than ever. Apple's supply chain has been chastised for the poor working conditions of Foxconn employees for years. This negatively reflects its suppliers' relationships, as it must make substantial improvements to working conditions throughout its supply chain, or risk hindering its reputational capital. However, Apple is currently passing costs from the trade war through to their customers and benefiting from the exploitation of Chinese workers by violating Chinese labor rules and exploiting the system by utilizing temporary staff who do not have the same benefits as full-time employees. This has resulted in Apple undergoing scrutiny and lawsuits through class actions over wage and safety violations, which negatively reflects on the company. Safety is another concern, with 77 Foxconn employees injured and 4 deaths in 2011 due to 2 workplace accidents at the iPad factory. Consequently, this is a significant threat to Apple due to the potential legal charges and the negative image it places on the company. The increasing tariffs on imports from China imposed by the US government in response to the trade war stands as one of the biggest threats to the company, with the US government having implemented a 25% import tariff on imports from China in 2019 on $200 billion worth of goods, resulting in a potential $160 increase on the iPhone XS. As Apple uses standardization for segments and manufactures its products in China, where its largest manufacturer Foxconn exists, an increase in tariffs will severely damage its gross margin, which will be relayed to customers. Consequently, this will impact customer relationships, as increased prices will reduce satisfaction, and thus there will be a decline in customer retention. This will result in the lessening of the competitiveness of the company and aggressive competitors such as Samsung, Google, and Microsoft further penetrating the market, with Android having already captured 72.23% of the market share, in comparison to Apple iOS, which only has 24.55% of market share globally, posing an immense threat due to the rapid innovation by Apple's competitors and its easily imitable brand design.
The first action is for Apple to consider their outsourcing decision, reflecting on whether financial benefits outweigh the risks of outsourcing with Foxconn, with their damaged reputation catalyzed from these supplier scandals. Choosing to keep this relationship means critical measures need to be in place to ensure their supplier relationships goes beyond just financial gain. Given Foxconn's opportunistic supplier behavior, Apple must mitigate Foxconn's moral hazards through the implementation of schemes that align Foxconn's interests with their own. Apple should first make a public statement addressing previous issues and note the measures that will now take place. These may include compensation for current employees, plans for larger living quarters, monthly environmental hazard assessments, and implementations of scoring systems that check off Foxconn's behaviors. I've created my own version of a scoring system management can use, derived from Week 9's Marketing Orientation Assessment, altered for organizational alignment through an employee lens. These measures include employees recognizing their role and rights in a company, management assuring all areas are functional and hygienic, reward structures are in place, and all forms of healthcare is provided. This aims to increase supply chain integration, with both parties collaborating and working towards the same goal, with additional plans to rebuild their relationship reputation and create an employee-safe working environment. For problem 2, an easier recommendation would be for Apple to either maintain their consumer prices or to relocate their suppliers, breaking their relationship with Foxconn. Now, irrespective of Foxconn's terrible relationship with employees, Apple and Foxconn financially have a very good system, so outsourcing to different suppliers may create other financial problems like slimming profit margins and higher operational costs. Instead, through a marketing lens, Apple should switch to a customer retention focus through relationship marketing. We can see Apple largely falls into transactional marketing, with their commitment to customers determined by the customer's ability to pay for additional warranty. Apple should instead focus on retention and increase customer priority by creating 24/7 access to technical support and consider free warranty for a year for all customers and all damage types. Additionally, promotions like discounted prices for returning customers or direct monthly leasing services for trendsetter customers who enjoy the newest products without buying a new phone each year will also be great ways to gain and retain customers. As consumers have an abundance of choices, their price elasticity of demand continually increases, as they opt for alternative competitors with lower prices like Samsung and Microsoft. Building these consumer relationships will develop long-term customers, improve satisfaction, and decrease elasticity, which evidently means that the loyal customers will still purchase Apple products regardless of increasing costs laid out.